floor. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And it's an honor for me to participate in your committee meeting today. And it's quite fortunate for me now. I'm happy to be Ms. Kirsty Duncan for a couple of hours. And I'd like to congratulate the Minister. It's the first time I've had the opportunity actually to congratulate the Minister on her position.
Beginning at least on the word danger and the definition of this word, because in the Canada Labour Code, the definition of today then includes, and I quote, any exposure to a hazardous substance that is likely to result in a chronic illness, in disease, or in damage to the reproductive system. The problem is that in the new omnibus bill of your government, these omnibus bills always come with surprises that have nothing to do with the bill itself. And then in this bill, we discover that there is a new definition of the word danger that will replace the current one of the Canada Labour Code, where the damage to the reproductive system will not be mentioned. So first, you are aware of this change?
Madam Chair. Sorry, once again, point of order. I'm not sure what the Labour Code has to do with status of women and estimates B.
Well, I'm speaking about reproductive system that will affect many women at work. So I think it's very relevant.
But it's not relevant to status of women. We're supposed to be talking about estimates B. That's what the motion was for.
Oui, Monsieur Dion.
Mr. Dion?
Question the fact that we speak about danger for the reproductive system, about the status of women. And if she doesn't see the link, I think she's alone on earth.
Merci, Madame Troupé.
Thank you, Ms. Troupé. Given that we do have the Minister of the Status of Women before of us, and we're speaking about danger to women, whether it be at work or elsewhere, there are women who work, and we now have Ms. Leitch's expertise here with us, so it would actually be interesting to hear her respond, and I'll give the floor to the Minister. Ms. Ambler.
Say that I am here in my capacity as the Minister of Status of Women, not as the Minister of Labour, and so happy to answer your question. I want to be very clear, as I have been in the press, the refusal to work for any employee, whether that be a woman or a man, continues. This has not changed in the code, whether it be the opposition or the media or others that may want to refute otherwise. This has not changed. I would also like to say that what we're doing with the code is actually enhancing and focusing on the internal responsibility system. I think the thing that is most important to employers and employees is that right there on the ground they can make a decision and move forward to make sure that a worker, whether they be a woman or a man, is not put in harm's way. And this is something that I take very seriously. You know, the statistics are very clear with respect to making sure that Canadians are safe in the workplace. We need to, and we are encouraging employers to take this very seriously, and they have. And we also encourage employees to do the same and to make sure they're stepping up if they are concerned with respect to any workplace issue. This is a joint responsibility. Now, if the employer and employee are unable to resolve their issue right there and then, they can call a health safety officer that is well-trained and focused from the Labour program in Canada, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at any point in time to intervene with respect to their concern. This is something that we pride ourselves in as Canadians. You know, I was just traveling through Central America and in South America, and I have to say the one thing that Canadians should be exceptionally proud of is our health and safety system in the workplace. We have a circumstance where other countries want to be like us. They are asking Canadians to train them because we are second to none. We should be exceptionally proud of our health and safety officers. They do outstanding work. And this focus, what we are doing with the Canada Labour Code is to focus and make sure that the opportunities for workers, employers and employees to come to resolution immediately on the job instead of having to wait for someone to show up to make sure that the issue that they're concerned about is resolved. They can deal with it immediately themselves and move forward. That's what we want to have happen. We want to make sure that workers in this country are empowered. We're providing them that opportunity.
Minister,
and as I said before,
don't play the clock like this, Minister.
The ability to refuse work at any point in time. Every worker in this country continues to have that opportunity, and I encourage them to use it if they have any concerns whatsoever.
I don't question your commitment for protection of the health of Canadians. It's why I guess you will certainly revisit this decision to make the reference to damage to the reproductive system out of the definition of the word danger as it is today in the Canada Labour Code. There is no reason to do that. Can you tell me a reason to do that?
Just point of order again. Sorry, point of order. This is supposed to be on estimates B, and you're going into labor issues. I mean, what was the point of having this meeting?
I made my point about that. I think it's about reproductive system. The minister said she's very concerned about health. It's important for her. So I'm asking the question. She spoke very long on very different things, but she did not address my question. Why is she supporting the move of his government to change the definition of the word danger in the Canada Labour Code in a way that will eliminate any reference to the reproductive system?
Point of order, Madam Chair, could we have a ruling on whether this is relevant to the discussion? And we only have the minister for a certain amount of time. I know I, for one, would like to hear the minister talk to status of women department issues. It's clear to me this has nothing to do with her portfolio as Minister for Status of Women.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Ambler.
Thank you, Ms. Ambler. As I stated earlier, we're talking about the status of women and the status of women at work, and the point that was raised deals with women. And so I asked the minister to draw on her own expertise as Minister of the Status of Women to respond to the question, which she did. Perhaps you have another question now to ask? Madam Chair, I was not given an answer to my question. I was given no answer to my question, and that is why the reference to reproductive system was removed from the definition of danger. And so that is my question. And Madam Chair, I would like you to take note of the time that was lost, and the points of order is not removed from my time. Yes, we did stop the clock for that. We took it into consideration. Now I would ask you to put your question. Then I would like to know why the reference to the reproductive system was removed from the definition of danger in the Canada Labour Code.
Well, Madam Chair, as I mentioned before, we have been very focused on making sure that women as well as men are safe in the workplace. And that's why, as I mentioned before, the health and service of Canadians, the health and safety of Canadians is something that I think Canadians don't fully appreciate. Our health and safety officers are second to none in the world. Our health and safety officers are those that are cherished and want to be emulated in other countries. I just spent, as I said, 10 days ago, I was in Colombia. I can tell you that they are asking for us, Canadians, to train them through our Labour program to make sure that they are meeting the same health and safety standards that we do here in Canada. The same occurred in Mexico, where a number of the leadership there were asking for exactly that. We are very focused on making sure that workplaces here in Canada are safe, so that fewer injuries take place, whether those be physical injuries or even those that may be seen as mental health related injuries. The Government of Canada, in fact my predecessor as the Minister of Labour, had just launched a national voluntary standard with respect to mental health, something that Canadian women have been asking for quite some time. So these are issues that are top of mind. These are issues that we are dealing with at Labour Canada. These are issues that Canadian women care about immensely. We're making sure that workplaces are safer for them so that they can go to work, be healthy and happy, and return home to their families so that they can enjoy their evenings at home, or maybe it's their mornings at home after a night on call, as I might do. I would encourage the member to stay focused on why we're here today. I'm delighted to be here as the Minister for Status of Women and focus on those things that we had already been speaking about. I recognize that he may want to take us a little off base and talk about other things. I would encourage him to go to the Human Resources Committee, where this is being discussed at length by the committee as well as by numerous officials. He may want to speak to the Parliamentary Secretary for Labour as well. She would be happy to take any of his comments.
Quelques secondes, Monsieur Dion.
I have a few seconds left, Mr. Dion.
Interpretation it assumes that the intention of legislators, when they change the wording of a law, is to change its meaning. You remove the word reproductive system from the definition, you're changing the meaning. Minister, I urge you to look at this file and to convince your government to not do this change because you have been unable to give one reason to do so.